But what is the overall sense from corporate India, despite posting over a 20% growth in the business and keeping asset quality under check? When asked by our colleague Ajay Sharma on the outlook, Ajay Piramal, the chairman of Piramal Enterprises, says that the outlook is hazy at the moment, but he wants to take the benefit of the gloomy environment in buying out quality asset at the right valuations. Here's a slice of that conversation.
So I think in a cycle like this, it's the government has to give confidence to the people. Today, I find that there is a lack of confidence in most of the, whether it is people who are in business or they are the investors. I think we need to put some measures to bring back that confidence, so that people start talking positively. It's also a lot of sentiment. The sentiment is becoming too negative. If I meet people now today, they don't have that positivity. But I do believe that the India long-term story has not gone away anywhere. And there is growth that will come.
Sure, of course. But talking of sentiment, some of your industry peers, Mr. Bajaj at the AGM, commented about how demand remains quite weak, very vocal, on a public platform. And I'm sure you must be gathering something from your other peers in the industry as well. Do you think the time is that the government and all policy makers, including top industrialists, should come together in some kind of a consultative manner and address, and the situation is alarming now in our economy?
So when I look at what in the budget, for instance, I know that the finance minister recognized the importance of NBFCs and said that she has announced measures to actually improve the liquidity that the NBFCs will have, including I've seen that taking a guarantee, a first loss guarantee of 10% and increasing the funds available. But we are still awaiting the guidelines as to how this liquidity will be passed on. If such measures are taken, I see that many of the areas, whether it's like, say, the two-wheeler sector and all, should improve. So I think rather than talking and discussing, it's just implementing some of the things that they've already done.
In fact, you had indicated that, in our interaction itself, and I'm glad they heard about it. So talking of this, you mentioned in your press release this time around that you are looking at raising 8,000 to 10,000 crore for possible inorganic opportunities. And you did say that there were some proposals on the table last time around when we were chatting. So what kind of proposals are you weighing?
So as I see it, that there's a whole consolidation taking place in Indian industry across the board. And more so, I find that it's in the space of NBFCs now. With this crisis, what's happening is that only the stronger NBFCs will actually be able to survive and grow. And therefore, there are assets which are available. And from NBFCs, this is what we are looking at. It depends on, again, the quality of assets. It depends on the valuation. So if there is those, then we want to be just ready. I believe that if you believe in the India growth story, organic growth will come back, assets you can acquire, and the raw material in a finance company is only cash. Capital. So if you can keep more capital, you're better off. Even today, if you look at it, our debt equity ratios are amongst the lowest. We are below 4, it's about 3.8 times debt, 3.8 times debt to our equity. So,
in fact, no matter how much the market sometimes stresses about your exposure, the asset quality, the way you maintained it, you've been changing your mix of capital raising as well. It's quite comfortable. Do you think any reason to assume that there could be some stress on asset quality going forward, or you are eliminating reasons one by one?
We very consciously look at assets and what is the quality of assets, and whatever some people may talk, but if you look at the real stuff, you find that our gross NPAs are still 0.9%. Our provisioning is more than twice that amount. And compared to even last quarter, in this quarter, our stage 2 assets have actually have improved. So we have been able to, those assets which we had provided for in the last quarter, we've been able to turn them around. So I think, again, it's just if I may say, our understanding of the space and the way we securitize ourselves, the way we structure our loans, this is just a reflection.
So, you've also indicated in the past that the company's aim is to scale up the consumer side of the lending business quite rapidly. Right now, wholesale is 47. So, what is the strategy over there? Are you looking at we have broken an exclusive story that you may be looking at some kind of a joint venture model where a strategic investor could put in some capital, perhaps a tie-up with Jio. Something on that lines, are you thinking of building a consumer-led model, tech-based or fintech-based?
So our tie-up with Jio began last year in December with my son getting married to.
Sure.
That's the only tie-up that we have. We do not have plans for any other
business. Okay, so but independently, are you wanting to? How would you build that?
So we are, as
lending?
I said, that we are looking at increasing our retail portfolio, and it was last date we started it only in 2017. Today it's already 11% of our portfolio. We are increasing it by you talked about. Acquiring some portfolios, we could do that. We are looking at investing in technology, so how we can have a newer model to do it. We've also therefore said that we will bring in additional capital as well, which will help in this. So it's a combination of all this, but there is no Jio in that.
All right, fine. So one last question, regarding the transmission in the system. In the last several months, our interaction as well as other NBFC we speak to have been saying that though the rates have edged lower from the RBI side, but the banks actually are not cutting rate in the same promotion, and the transmission was not happening. Last week, BOB started cutting rates in different tenor. Yesterday, SBI also did that. What is your observation? Are rates now being transmitted lower, or will it take time?
So I think the rates, from what I read, was they cut it down in the deposits.
Yeah.
They have not yet.
Yet in
I have
MCLR.
not seen any transmission of the rates and the effective rates of interest today. They are not there. I think more important than rate today for the system is to ensure that there is enough liquidity which is provided to NBFCs.
No, I spoke to SBI CFO right after that announcement, and they said that 25 to 30 basis point MCLR cut is expected because of that going forward.
So if I can understand right, the Reserve Bank has actually cut down by almost 75 basis points. So
yes,
that's what I read the governor's statement that they should. But
for your own cost of borrowing?
Our cost of borrowing actually has gone up. That's also because of the stresses in the system, and we don't. As I said, our focus more is to ensure that there's adequate liquidity, and therefore today cost for me is not as important.
Sure.
Because frankly, our borrowers also, you can pass it on.
Right, and so this 8,000...
Overall for the system, it's good that ultimately costs come down.
So but this 8,000 crore which you have indicated raising, and this will be via what instruments?
So let's see, we are saying we'll bring in, it will be an equity instrument.
Okay.